Welcome to The Green Rush, a podcast about the intersection of cannabis, the capital markets, and culture. This week's episode of The Green Rush is a special one for many reasons. The tagline of this show is that the Green Rush sits at the intersection of cannabis, the capital markets, and culture, and boy does this show hit all three components square in the nose. Hard. Lewis got the opportunity to sit down with Iron Mike Tyson and his business partner Rob Hickman to talk about boxing, hot boxing, their new cannabis venture Tyson Ranch, Mike's experience with a unique ethnogenic medicine called 5-MeO-DMT, and lots of other fascinating stuff. This was not Lewis's first sit down with Mike. Back over the winter, Lewis had the chance to speak with Mike and Rob about what they're building out in Palm Desert with Tyson Ranch, and due to some technical challenges, the audio files were lost. So he hopped back on a plane to Los Angeles in March to recreate their conversation. If you're a fan of boxing, the hangover movies, or pop culture from the 80s and 90s, then Mike Tyson likely holds an outsized position in your memory. If you're too young to really know who he was, who he is and has become is quite inspiring. This is truly an episode you're not going to want to sit back for. Rather, lean forward. Now on to our conversation between Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Over the past 80 episodes or so of recording The Green Rush with Ann, Nick, and Shay, we've been lucky enough to speak to some of the biggest names in cannabis. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of sitting down with one of the biggest celebrities in the world, Mike Tyson. Now, if you are anywhere near my age, and I recently turned 49, Mike Tyson had an outsized impact on our perception of celebrity and sports, the media, and so many other things. If you never had the luck to see Mike fight in his prime, you really missed out. Growing up, for me, boxing was still huge, and the heavyweight champion of the world was the biggest celebrity in sports. Names like Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Joe Norton were huge names. I mean, people around the world knew these men. They followed their every move. It may be hard to believe now, but if you follow the mixed martial arts or the NBA or any other sport, none of these celebrities ever approached the status of a heavyweight champion. As big as LeBron James is today globally, Mike Tyson dwarfed him in celebrity. Now, growing up, I loved boxing. I can't explain why, but I did. And I loved watching the fights on HBO and NBC. And I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever seen anybody fight with the raw power, aggression, and intimidation that Mike Tyson brought to the ring. While he almost always won, and at the end of his career, he really wasn't the same man. In the ring, he was unbelievable. But where he really won his fights was in the lead-in. Mike was the most prepared, intimidating fighter I ever saw. And I would argue that he was the last truly globally relevant boxer. Now, Mike's career ended 10, 15 years ago. And his post-fight career has truly been a fascinating one to watch. It's been a way for him to expand his personality, to rebrand and reshape himself. From his one-man shows to his role in The Hangover, Tyson has pivoted away from boxing to become an entertainer and to bring a whole new generation of fans into his sphere. And when I say into his sphere, having met and spent time with Mike Tyson, he is truly a magnetic personality. Now, when I was scheduling time to meet with him, I had some concerns about talking to Mike, about who he was as an individual. You know, I did my research. I watched all the documentaries. I watched clips of him doing interviews, and I was nervous. You know, he grew up in deep, soul-crushing poverty amongst crime and violence, and then he lived his life in a violent profession. So I expected that when I met him, that there would be a significant undertone of anger and violence to his personality. And what I encountered was exactly the opposite, a truly deep, soulful, and spiritual person. And I'll tell you, walking away from the Tyson interview, I now have a new respect for him and for his journey. And I hope you get as much out of listening to this conversation as I did in having it. So no more Lewis introspection. It's on to my chat with Iron Mike Tyson and his partner, Rob Hickman. So when I saw you last, you had just done the toad.
Yes.
Have you done it again since then?
I've done it, yeah, quite a few times since then.
Yeah.
A couple, like 3 weeks ago, something to that effect, I just did it.
I'm dying to try it.
Oh man, this is incredible. It's just inconceivable to think about. You just don't believe what goes on. You know, you can't even.
So, you know, when I met you the first time, I was like thinking you're gonna have a hard edge to your soul, like anger, because I know you led a rough life, dude. And it's not. You're just a gentle soul, and it's really beautiful.
Hey, you know, I don't know, that dark guy took me to a lot of places. You know, that's what I was what was I doing? I attract that energy, that dark energy.
Actually, talk about this. I want to hear. So you had this dark energy, you're saying?
Yeah, I used to always wish I was how do I say this? I used to always pray to God, and you know, in my subconscious that I used to read about all the meanest guys, Attila the Hun, Hannibal, fucking Genghis Khan, Attila the, you know, Kublai Khan, all the guys, Belisarius, Charlemagne, Charles Martel. Yes, the baddest motherfuckers, the baddest motherfuckers God could ever create. Think about creating is just not. And I used to always pray that I could read about them, I'd be like them, and just people be in fear of me.
You were one of them.
Like, yeah, and that's what I wanted to be. I want people to be in fear. I used to think of their tactics, how to psychologically, present fear. I used to be just so insecure. I wanted to be a tough guy so bad because I used to get bullied all the time, and I wanted to be able to bully people. And I just
So was your fighting a way to fight back at the bullies?
Big time. People ever humiliated me in some way, make me feel less of a human being.
And when you were in the ring, even if the fighter that you were fighting had never wronged you, you channeled that anger at them?
Absolutely, 100%. You know.
Did you ever feel bad when you just annihilated somebody? Like Michael Spinks, 31 seconds, right? You come in here and you see the video now, there is abject fear in his eyes. And you kicked the shit out of him. Did you feel bad at that time?
No, how do I say this? I want to say this without being animalistic.
No, be you.
I wanted to inflict pain on him. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted him to feel, which was more important. I wanted him to think of me doing it more than me feeling it, you know?
Yeah, because you beat him before he was even in
it's
the
all
ring.
Psychological.
And now, do you have any relationship with any of the guys that you fought?
You know, I have love to anybody I ever fought. And sometimes if it's necessary, I apologize for things I did and said at that particular time.
So at the end of your career, you know, I've watched all the videos on you, you know, you're not much older than me. You're 54?
52.
52. So I'm 49, right? So you like growing up, you defined a large part of my childhood, and I mean, you were the biggest celebrity ever. And now you're a completely different human. When you look back, do you recognize the guy that you were?
Listen, back to the toad. Last time I did the toad, and something really bizarre happened to me. I felt the pain of everybody I ever hurt.
Wow. What was that like?
Totally emasculated, overwhelmingly guilty, and just, whoa.
And when you came out of it, how did that change you?
I was asking for a lot of forgiveness.
I hope you get it, man. I think like this is the second time I've had the opportunity to sit across the table from you and talk, and I really like. I like you, man.
Thank you. I love you as well, brother.
I'm not saying I'm like.
No, I understand, brother.
Right, yeah.
I understand. You know, since the total, I understand the power of love and the lack of the power of love.
It's amazing. You know, I've been thinking about the toad and other like psilocybin, you know, mushrooms, because we're all going through shit.
Whoa, but listen, again, I have to tell you something. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Once you do the toad, you're totally vulnerable. Everything you think you had, secret is out. But it's out to nobody. You don't see, but it's out. and you're feeling the feeling that you feel with your secret that everybody in the world that you know and care and love, no secrets that you don't want them to know, and everybody knows it. And the energy that everyone knows it, and you're feeling the pain that you would feel knowing that they would know, and not what they would think, but knowing how you would feel that if they would know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that, and it was like, fuck.
It's medicine,
Yeah,
right?
it's like, fuck. It's whoa, man. It's like dying. You die. You no longer exist. You know, you feel, but you don't see. You have nothing. It's just energy.
Wow.
And that's it's just really coming at you. It's like 1,000 years of experience coming to you in 15 minutes.
Do you like yourself more now than you did before you started trying the toad?
Oh, 100%. Because I've been given the understanding to really find out who this is. You know? Not that I do, but I have an idea. I've became acquainted with this now. That's why I've been volunteering to do it often, because I'm really interested in finding out who this is and what is this all about. And I feel if you don't get in touch with this, you have a wasted life.
I agree. So
listen, 49. I'm 52, 49. It's over. It's almost over.
I feel the same way, because we're on the backside, right? We have less in front of us than we have behind us, and we have a responsibility to make every minute left meaningful.
But how do you know that if you don't know you? Sometimes think of this. This is what I've come to think about since I told. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is my reason? Why am I here?
And do you have a better sense of that?
I think the only thing I know from dealing with the toads, my biggest experience with the world is being one with everything. Being under the toad, I was one with everything. I felt every feeling in the world. I could feel anything. Any drug I ever took, I felt that feeling. Cigarette from when I was a little boy, anything I ever done, I felt all the energy. Oh, just incredible. The feeling and the emotions that you feel. And I realized that we're just a species. We have a certain deadline at which we have to expire and all this.
Mm-hmm. So how do you keep that going after the experience? Like, you've come down from doing the toad. How do you keep that feeling of being one with everything now, right? Because you're not on the toad now. You're sitting here.
I keep in touch. I keep in touch with some of the greatest philosophers on consciousness. Mm-hmm. And their philosophy on consciousness and subconsciousness and the afterlife.
Rob Hickman, Mike's partner, just joined us. Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
First of all, as I said to Mike, I want to thank you for being so generous with your time. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. You've also tried the toad. You're the person, I think, who introduced Mike to...
Yeah, long time ago. Mm-hmm.
How did it impact on your life?
It impacted my life. What happened to me is I had a severe case of MRSA. I guess all cases of MRSA are severe, but mine was last rites severe. And through a bunch of medical work and blood transfusions and certain drugs, I was able to get better. But my one doctor, who kept telling me in my head that, you can beat this as opposed to dying. So... But when I had my last, I was in a coma for, I think, 6 days. And at that point, I felt like I experienced an opportunity to go one or two ways. And when I came out, I told the one doctor, the one kept telling me,
if you want, I'll cut that out.
Yeah, maybe, just his name, because he said I was going to die. And then Dr. Toneman from the Mayo Clinic said I'm going to live. I picked Toneman.
Good choice.
And that was 8.5 years ago. But right after that, he hooked me up with some referrals to this Indian doctor who was interested, and I started telling her about my experience, the near-death experience, and she says, hey, there's a thing called 5-MeO-DMT. And I'm like, well, what's that? She says, if you want to experience it again, you can, and it could open up things and get you more prepared, because still they're giving me 3 months to live. So I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I'll do it. I didn't care. I'll try anything. And I did it, and it was a pretty good dose, and it whacked me out pretty good, and I had to experience even more because I was conscious to this one as opposed to being in a subconscious state of a coma. It was a lot more vivid.
Wait, did they give you 5-MeO?
No, I had a natural occurrence.
Oh, you had a natural
of it.
experience.
Yeah, I felt like I was slipping.
Okay.
I was shallow breathing. They had me on a respirator. I was in a morgue that everybody was dying in. So I thought, there was a chance I was either going to die or live, and I made it through that night, and that's when my doctor came in and tried some wonder drugs with me. anyhow, it was a special thing. And then after that, my son was battling with a lot of addictions, and I couldn't get him to do it. But I was just hoping I could. So I found other like people that were. I was a major drinker at the time. Prior to all this, haven't drank since that incident for sure. But and behavior was all not right. Successful in a weird way, but not successful at all.
You were successful exterior, but not on the inside.
Yeah, horribly beaten inside, and separated, divorced, and just running through the thing. And so it was the only thing that I reached for it, and I found it, and then it just reset me into a whole new way, the way I look at things in life, and then put people through that are on addiction and watching them get major lives back. And then Mike and I were...
Well, how did you guys meet?
I've met Mike a few times over the years, over his career, because of the Hollywood business and casting him and being in the peripherals of some of that. But then about 4.5 years ago, we reconnected and literally personally connected, and then I started to meet his family and his infrastructure that was around him and seeing what type of person he had become. And I said, that's a guy I could do something cool with. And then we collaborated together, and that's how we did it.
And at what point did you say to Mike, you really should try this?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about any things that I was doing. I didn't want to tell anybody about what I did. Everybody just thought I wouldn't tell people.
How did it work?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I didn't say anything, but I had a friend, Doug Marshall, who happened to know a new shaman who was bringing in administering 5-MeO, who was helping me with a couple of my close people that were doing it, that were getting off drugs and alcohol. And I said, why don't I have him in for a podcast with Mike? That's it, nothing more.
I heard that. That was
First, that was a long time ago.
But you did that on Hotboxing, right?
Yeah. He did it between episodes.
Yeah.
We had to fly away and then come back and do it.
It was. I have to tell you, when I heard that, it blew. Everything that you're doing, the thing that most fascinated me was that experience of hearing you talk about that experience. Because while we're going to talk about the business of cannabis, I think everybody in the world has a picture of you. Right? And it's not the man that you are today. It's the man I think that you were before. I really think it's important for people to understand who you are now.
I'm from who I am, I'm really getting in touch with, my soul, my spirit, with who I am. And I'm finding a lot of resounding, outcomes of who I am and what I believe I am and what I believe I've come from. That effect.
Do you see yourself attracting different people to you now?
Absolutely, because my agenda is to attract these people with me.
It's cool.
Mike has an attraction for every person. He's a magnet of attraction. He now picks and chooses who he wants to be attracted to or who he wants to relate to. Because, not everybody in our lives have the best intentions for us.
No, I can see that people would want to take advantage of you. And you've been taken advantage of many times by people who claim to love you. So
that's a long time ago. That's never going to happen again. I don't put myself in that position, thank God.
He absolutely doesn't. He back then he had a mission to do a job, and he did it to the best of anybody's ability in the world forever, right? Yeah. He didn't have a business of being a businessman. He didn't have a business of raising a family. It all just started happening. And now I have all this money. I got to understand business. I have kids. None of that was prepared when you and I had a different look at what we got. I had a family. Yeah. I said, that's the 4 staples of life. This is what you do. Hey, not him. So you take that, but what he's done is he got to see extraordinary things by being that almost free. Is the way I look at Mike. But I look at Mike now as he's evolved for 4 years. I'm not saying he was running through maybe some states over these 4 years where he wasn't as happy as he was. I think he's now finding more of a peace and not too high, not too low status of life where he's just grooving. And his awareness in business is he could run a Fortune 500 company and people can sit there and laugh at me. I know it. I know he makes instinctual decisions that are smart.
Can you talk about what your business is now?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
What we're doing right now, we're within a year or 18 months, we're about to open up a state-of-the-art, first of its kind, cannabis-friendly resort.
Tyson Ranch?
Yes.
And where is it?
And it's in the Palm Springs,
Hot Springs.
Palm Springs, and it's not by
The Desert Hot Springs, Palm Springs, but it's the
Okay.
10 runs
Right
right
between
between
the
it.
10.
Right,
So we have
split,
land,
right?
yeah, and so we have an overpass being built and an underpass.
Wow.
So it'll be connected. Palm Springs side will stay mostly family with franchise family type products over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike's Desert Hot Springs side, which is across the freeway, will be the cannabis friendly adult use.
And you're going to have a hotel?
There will be 180 high-end cabins or chateaus, glamping, and then a long lazy river in it. And he has about a half-acre size pool.
Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're planning to do out there, kind of stuff.
And it's literally only a couple of weeks or months away, so it really is Tomorrowland. That's
Yeah,
cool.
We have an event coming up in October, our next kind event, which will be about 4 times the size of our last one, which was oversold by 2,500 people.
That's gonna be interesting.
That's cool.
So that's and slow grading is happening right now. It's building. Mike and I aren't real estate developers, so we are having to surround ourselves with a lot of bidding real estate developers that we can pick from, and
Right.
we have the best ones coming to us. So that's we're doing all the entitlements, so we'll be ready to go once we decide on.
So this is not a cheap project.
Oh my gosh!
How are you guys funding it?
Well, we funded so far everything internally. We haven't taken any outside money. That's going to change. So that's how we'll fund it. We'll have to go out for
And are you looking
fundraising.
at institutional money, or would you prefer high net worth individuals?
Both. I mean, it just depends. I think it's strategy. We like to know who we're in business with. I mean, we do have some peripheral partners. We do have some finance. They're friends of ours. So it wasn't like we had to raise money. We just said, who all wants to join the cause with us? And
Oh yeah, I mean
they all, just this small group of people that we trusted came in.
Right.
And now we're going to go out to people we don't know. But we want to be sure they're strategic and have more than just money, because the money is not the problem in this business right now.
No, it's the partnerships and the value, whether that be from a branding perspective or a hotel operating perspective. I get it. You want, it's not money. You want smart money.
That's why Mike and I aren't the 2 smartest guys in that room, and that's the best way to.
It's different smarts, right?
So, well, we hope so, because we have the guy that ran Glasso and Vitamin Water, who runs our water company inside of the Tyson. We have
And that's CBD water?
that's CBD water and alkaline infused water and other different types of products. His name is Bruce Nurensberg. He's a partner of ours.
Okay.
The guys that did the original George Foreman Grill are running the Copper Gel, which is what kickstarted this thing off, because
I love the copper gel, by the way. You gave me some the last time I was here. It's really good stuff.
so that same team went back together and just started blowing this up, and it's done great on HSN. It's sold out every time it goes on. It's sold out on Amazon. It is sold out, and now we're repackaging, and hopefully by the end of the year, not hopefully, but we are projected to have it in 32,000 retail stores.
Wow.
So, and a lot of them are taking it. They want CBD big and bold on it. So that's even, and I'm talking about franchises. So,
This is really good, by the way.
Thank you very much.
so you have a real good team running that. Then you go to our entertainment division. You bring in Joe Roth, who's probably the best producer alive right now. I mean, active producer. He produces all the big movies, and he is our entertainment hub. So we have a lot of his, running that. And Jay Stroman is doing our manufacturing. We're the largest provider of CBD isolate manufacturing right now that we don't talk too much about into the public, but this will be something that you can
Yeah.
have a
Well, if you want it
fresher. You're
in-
more than welcome to let this one go. But we are located in Nashville with 200,000 square feet. We're located in Henderson with about 50,000 square feet, and in Colorado with another 150,000 square feet of processing to isolate for CBD. At
And,
very
and you're
high
white
ends.
labeling that?
Well,
Do you
we're
understand isolate?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I guess we kind of are. We're kind of just want to be the sugar that
But
goes
are
into
you
everybody's
are
ingredients.
you selling the isolate to
These are- yeah.
others, right? So it's not Tyson's isolate. It's
Well,
isolate.
we use our own isolate for our products,
Right.
but we also have plenty of isolate for
others.
yes, and that's
Plenty to go around.
and that's what we're doing. We're becoming a supply manufacturing line that runs, but the awareness comes from Mike and this side.
Right. And I saw you have a partnership with Planet 13 in Vegas.
Not a
right?
partnership. I think we should set the record straight.
Okay, so please set the record straight.
Yeah, we did a 1-month exclusive with them to launch Tyson's product.
Okay.
Now, they got a lot of publicity when we went on Jimmy Kimmel. They got a lot of publicity. So when we get behind a brand and you add Mike, and his team, they're really, you can go anywhere you want and sell a whole lot of things. And
So are you looking for other partnerships like that?
we will, yeah, we will. Inevitably, we're not exclusive to Planet 13, even though Planet 13 is buying about $400,000 worth of product a month. And again, we're just a packaging company, so we had to endorse a grow. So Mike went around and scouted all the legal grows and checked out to find the best crops and said, "Do you guys want to be my partner? All I can do is sell you this packaging and give you this contract," and that's what we've done.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that's how we can grow in each one of these states. So we need the highest level quality tested state legal weed cannabis that's available, and we'll consider packaging it.
So in Planet 13, I don't know if you know this, but how does Mike's product sell versus other product? I mean, you know, there are lots of other guys. Wiz Khalifa has his own brand. Willie Nelson has his own brand.
It's true, right? But it's not Tyson Ranch.
Right.
It's not Tyson Ranch. We're there, we're interacting with the people, we're there with our product, we're there with confidence and proof that we have the best product by us appearing with the product.
Right.
And Mike owns it. He's not licensed. He didn't license it. He owns it. He and I were the founding partners, Mike Tyson and me, and then we brought everybody else along. So it's his company. So it's a lot different than saying, "Hey, I'm going to license out to these 5 different people. I'm going to do this." They have a say. He and his wife have a say in every move we make. It's a collective team. It's a family business almost. And our families are getting closer because of it.
How do you like being a businessman?
Hey, that's funny. I love it. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Well, Planet 13. So, yeah, we'll go out and do that more often. We'll go
would
out
you
and
do that in
deals
other
like
states?
that. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Is we'll duplicate it. It's the only way we can grow because we can sell.
Another country.
That's other countries. That's exactly right. And that's one of the things we're starting to talk to is Europe.
So when you were young, you started smoking, how old were you?
I'm like 11 or 10, smoking weed and stuff. When my mother's friends used to let us smoke, try to make us go to bed.
And now you own a weed company.
Yes, this is true.
Are there moments where it kind of trips you out, where you're like, I cannot believe that my business is weed?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's really I understand it's bigger than me because of the medical use that is so necessary for. And that when people think of me in a weed company, they think I'm a stoner, I'm up here getting bloated and all that stuff, and they don't know that as far as the flower is concerned, I'm not in the the weed business. It sounds glamorous, but I'm really in the isolate business.
Mm-hmm.
In the CBD business.
Right. And are you also going to do a THC isolate?
Absolutely. We'll probably do some cigarettes. I'm interested in doing CBD cigarettes.
Okay. And what about like the THC side of it? Are you going to do that as well, or are you going to stick with CBD?
With everything. With everything.
Your wife is your partner.
Yes.
Where like who, everybody has a swim lane, right? Like you're really good at something and she's really good at something. What would you say what your wife brings? Like where's her strength?
My wife's sensitivity is the strongest strength, and a consideration, and a fucking it's a humbleness. Just and for instance, I'm in a meeting with Jamie Foxx and the producers and the guys that's gonna do my life story. So we're doing this. This is yesterday, matter of fact. So we're in the meeting, and the consideration that she had for our other friend Todd Phillips, that she was
The director?
Yes, she wanted Jamie to talk to Todd. You know what I mean?
Is Jamie playing you?
It appears to be he is, but she wanted him to talk to Jamie so they could get an understanding and make sure this is going to be going, because we're not going to hurt Todd. Todd is really a personal friend of ours, and they have to work something out that's going to be good for everyone.
You are a brand, right? I mean, you're a person first and foremost.
Yeah, but I understand the brand syndrome now. I understand that.
How do you think about? Look, your historic brand was the baddest man on the planet, right? You were the toughest motherfucker. Nobody. Yeah, and you are such a kind soul today. But how do you think about both making your brand bigger and then changing its perception to who the person you are today versus who you were in 1989?
Listen, I explain something like that. Most of the time, during the time I was fighting, it was almost impossible for me. A person with a movie, a commercial, or anything wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole. But Fifth Avenue, they call them, they wouldn't touch me. My reputation was horrible. So now, things are happening. Most of those people were adults when I was a kid, 19, 20, 20. They were in their 50s and 60s.
They're all gone.
Now they're gone. And now the people that really look at me now, they don't look at me as Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. Oh, fuck you, I eat your children. Nobody can be, I'm invincible. Look at me, fear me as I bring purity of oblivion to your world. That sick fucking psycho stuff. They look at me as the guy that's the Hangover. They look at me as that. The guy with the tattoo. They know me from that. They don't know me. I went to a high school in Phoenix, and with my ego, this made me, I got humbled. I went there, so I'm in the classroom, and there's probably 600 kids. I'm gonna have to exactly 600 kids.
Right.
Okay. So when I go there, I'm like Tyson, I'm gonna go and these kids are gonna love me. When I go there, there's a big giant screen there, and he's showing the kids pictures of me boxing, telling them this is what I did. Yeah, that's the guy from The Hangover. They don't know me from boxing. They know me from The Hangover and The Hangover and my one-man show. So I'm watching these kids watch pictures of me fighting, and then one kid said, "Yeah, I think my grandfather told me about you." I said, "Oh shit!" I didn't say "oh shit" out my inside. I'm like, "Oh shit!" I need to start doing something. They forgot me. These high school kids forgot who I. They didn't have no idea.
They don't know boxing.
That I was a boxer.
Yeah, I mean, is boxing still viable versus MMA?
No, I don't think so. But listen, if you're lucky enough to be the right boxer, you can make a lot of money, more than any sports figure on the planet.
Yeah, you made $500 million over your career, right?
Yeah.
That's
the way these guys making money now.
So, you grew up really poor.
Yeah.
And if you look at the history of boxing, it is a way for people who are really, really poor to get out, right? And you're starting to see guys from Latin America and bigger guys. Latin Americans have always been lightweights or middleweights. You're seeing heavyweights, and you're seeing guys from Asia come. Do you see a chance that there's going to be an Asian heavyweight champ?
Anything's possible. Nothing's impossible for anyone that tries.
It would be kind of cool if people start talking about where Mike is going too, because the stories of the old have been told.
Yes.
So much.
So what's
and everybody
next?
Everybody says, tell me about the tigers and tell me about the pigeons and tell me about. I think Mike. I feel bad for Mike for having to say it again and again and again
because everybody wants to hear it.
But they heard it. It's what I'm. It's going to be cool to get the interview in. They can start pulling in stuff that hasn't been heard.
So tell me, what does a year from now look like for you? Where are you going to be 12 months?
Oh, in all due respect to God, hopefully alive. Say I'm alive. All right, say I'm alive. Praise be to God. I'm going to be really happy. I'm going to be happy with my spiritual growth and my financial growth, my intellectual growth, my business orientated growth, and I'm just going to enjoy the pleasures of the gods.
And with Tyson Ranch, right? Where are you going to be a year from now? Is it going to be open?
Yes, it'll be open.
I'll jump in to help them because some of that is out of our control.
Right.
The land is ours, free and clear. But to say our target date is 2020, it's a year and a half.
Yeah.
It will be open.
Okay.
And Mike and I are pretty good at getting our targets done.
So what do you need to do to get from here to there?
Well, we're just developing the plans right now. Then we got to go financing it. So we'll be looking for the financing, but I think we got a lot of people that would be interested in it.
Can you give me a ballpark on what the entire cost of the project would be?
Well, there's two sides to it. The side we're developing is Desert Hot Springs. We have a partner that wants to come in and build what Mike was talking about, the Aztec
the family
side.
stuff.
The family, it's more family and more. It's actually more spiritual in some ways too, because it's built around the Indian theme.
But on the Desert Hot Springs side, on the cannabis side, how much do you think the project is going to be? Are we talking $500 million? Are we talking
Not that
a couple
much.
$100 million?
Yeah, I mean, it's fully developed. It would be, but there's a center that we're going to be collaborating with for Tyson University. So Mike will have a university of sorts. Hopefully that will be the name because I think it'd be cool. And I think
scholarships.
Yeah.
And what? That's cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of study are they going to be?
Well, we're
there?
dealing right now with NYU, right? Is that NYU and UCLA and West Virginia University, all of which are universities that we could get some form of curriculum that could go there. There's some stuff that I can't say yet, but you'll see it in the press with people that are helping with that. That little thing will be a futuristic center. That could cost a lot of money, and it could be put in by a lot of people, but that's still on our property on the Desert Hot Springs side. Then there's a health and wellness center. Those are the last two pieces of that. So the first piece will be the glamping and the lazy river with the big clubhouse, and the smaller theater will still be doing festivals, but we'll be doing them with pop-ups. We'll be doing them with trucks, not the stage. And then 2020 is when we'll have probably the beginning of the erection of this stadium that we're going to be building. So the glamping and everything.
You just had the Kind Festival, right? Can you talk about what that was? You know, who played? Like, tell me what.
Put it on the screen, man.
Yeah, we could put a little thing up, but
yeah, but podcasts are audio. I want to see this, but the people who are listening can't.
Well, if you see, you give a good presentation.
Yeah, maybe you could actually describe what you're seeing.
I'll do that.
That'd be kind of cool.
So, how many people went?
We only had 5,000 tickets that we could sell because of the size of it, which I'll show you. First, I'll just show you an overview of the size. So this is just how it looks.
You gotta see it in order to explain it.
Did you have fun?
I was just so amazed. When I was enjoying it, all I was thinking, how can I make it bigger? How can I make it better?
Can you hand me that remote right there?
Yeah. You know, is it that like you just want more and more fun, more people to get it?
Well,
how would 100,000 people look here?
Like Coachella or Burning Man. Have you ever been to Burning Man?
No, I was going to go one day, but I didn't make it.
This is just an overview of the land. So this is this could hold permitted 5,000 people. So we ended up 7,500 people.
So I'm looking at a square that is got a stage at one end. You've got tents and others, and a nice little Ferris wheel in the back. It looks like it's on AstroTurf. There's a great picture of Mike's wife, and Rob cutting a ribbon.
Imagine that all green. Imagine everything around it.
So the next one will be 5 times the size of that.
So
that's what we're
held
building.
5,000 people.
Yeah, 7,500 actually.
7,500.
But it was 4,000.
Okay, and who played?
ASAP.
ASAP Ferg, Miguel played, some local guys, some really good.
That's cool. Did you go on the Ferris wheel?
No, I didn't have the opportunity. I think I'm gonna go next time.
You gotta get. I mean, this is your thing, man. You gotta get to do everything.
I was nervous. It was my first time.
Right.
There was too many people. A little apprehensive. So.
Did you go out in the crowd at all? And how did people react when they see you, or did they not know who you were?
They did, but it got a little overwhelming. So I tried to stay away from them, but it was happening. It just was happening.
So for the next, when is the next one going to be?
This is in October, I believe. Right, Rob? Next one in October.
October.
And when are tickets going to go on sale?
Well, we're still lining up. He's looking at Martine. I like that shot right there. That one. Look at that. So that's all of our land, all the way to those trees back there. On the other side of the freeway.
So what I'm looking at you've got the 10 freeway in the middle. In the foreground, you've got desert with the event space, and in the background, it's more desert, and it's probably what 300 acres.
450 acres.
450 acres, and that's a nice little sly grin there, like
beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's free and clear, no debt.
So now
this is at the event.
Oh man, that looks like so much fun.
You'll be at the next one.
Thank you. So, were you guys? Was there Tyson product available there?
Yeah, we had a license. We were only licensed in the United States that you're allowed to smoke and consume alcohol on. We got that license.
Wow, that's cool. Oh my God, my kids would go nuts for this.
I'll send it to you.
Would you? I would love that. We gotta get Migos next time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Show them what we're going to do next time.
Martine.
Yeah, he didn't have seen. Have you seen this guy? Martine.
This looks like, you had the pods.
Tons of them. Look.
Those are cool.
Pod garden.
Yeah, so I'm looking. They've got the moon pod bean bags, hundreds of them laid out for people to lay on. This looks like so much fun. And this is your thing. How cool did that feel that you gave this much joy to this many people?
I wanted to get more.
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't fulfilling for neither of us. I don't think we're not fulfilled.
More.
Yeah, it's never enough. I think we're in it, and we're in it to really. We just know there's bigger and better, and I think we both have the same. His is in his way, and my way are thinking the exact same way.
I was always thinking from the perspective. I was saying, wow, it'd probably be how we got to get the entertainers. So we got to have relationships with these entertainers. Then I saw this guy. The DJ guy said, "This is beautiful. Why don't we put rave here?
That'd be cool.
And these guys are world famous. They got thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers, and they follow them anywhere in the world.
Do you feel like you guys are being chased? Like you have to run as fast as you can because there's others that are running just as fast?
Never think that. I don't either. No. Matter of fact, I'm happy to show everybody exactly the food. Go ahead. Try to do what we've done. That's all I challenge people.
So, a lot of the people who I talk
Sounds
to...
arrogant, huh?
No, not at all. It doesn't sound arrogant.
But I kind of do, because I know they couldn't.
So, the biggest news in cannabis the last week or so was Acreage Holdings, the big, multi-state operator, getting bought by Canopy Growth for $3.4 billion. And in California, there are lots of these big public cannabis companies. You guys are playing in a completely different space, right? You are just forging your own path.
To do it, you don't have any traffic when you make your own path. You have nobody to compete with when you make your own path.
But these guys got so much money. How do you see them as partners, competition, or just not relevant?
I don't look at anybody as I don't look at anybody. I look at all of us as entrepreneurs, businessmen, and we're all out here doing our best.
Yeah, we have the game in here yesterday. The guy has his own brand line. We'll endorse it. Mm-hmm. It's called co-opetition. Not competition anymore. You co-op with your own. There's no reason. There's plenty. People are going to pick what they want. Right. Learn from each other and do the best you can. There's plenty of room in the space. The people that are best organized and best business practices are put in from the beginning will be the winners. You're still competing with a lot of people from the marijuana dark black market, right?
Yeah.
That's so you kind of think they're business savvy, and every deal you do with them, they're trying to convert, and we want to help them.
Right.
But they don't always see it our way either.
But I'm actually thinking about the legal market now, right? Because the overall cannabis market in the U.S. is like between 75 and 100 billion, and only 10 billion is legal. But 10 billion is still a lot of money, right? You're talking about big public companies that have multi-billion-dollar market capitalizations and have war chests of hundreds of millions of dollars, and you guys are all competing for the same consumer.
Well, we can't compete for the same consumer. It's impossible because we have the best product. There's no comparison. You know what I mean? It's no equal.
They don't put the hundreds of people we put to work to go find the best product in every region and say we want to help you guys promote that.
In every part of the world, we search for all the greatest strains.
And with Mike, think about it. I don't go in as me. I go in as representing Mike. And we can't have a lot of people representing Mike because that would dilute Mike. So it's very select. I mean, I'm in a little fraternity of 3, maybe, right?
Right.
And I get to say I'm Mike Tyson's partner, and
what was the
changes
initiation into that fraternity like? I'm teasing.
Boy,
a bad
I don't
joke.
know. He punched me in the head once.
Ooh.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No punching, we said.
So we were let's talk. Like, what's 5 years look like for you, Rob? What do you think the company?
This company, listen,
years?
I believe we will see opportunities to exit our business in manufacturing, and I don't want to give up some of the stuff we want to see through, so I think it'll be our option. But within the next couple of years, we'll have big exits available. And we all want to do things that we'd like to do too, which we really like doing this, so I can't see doing anything else. So that's where this is going to come in. It depends on Mike's, it's a collaborative effort. If he wants to go, we go.
What do you want to do for the next 5 years? How do you want to spend the rest of your life? More than 5 years, but how do you want to spend the next, 5-10 years in terms of business?
Inventing new products, inventing new CBD cigarettes. You know what I mean? With a product that has the taste of tobacco but doesn't have the damage that tobacco does and the nicotine does, but it still has the same taste. Something from that perspective.
Okay, cool.
And we talked to a guy who has that technology up in Silicon Valley today, just about what he just wanted. The guy is able to mask and change flavorings without all the carcinogens. He worked for Blue, the e-vape pen. All digitalized and electronic. Amazing what these guys are coming up with.
That'd be the state of the art. That'd be the first thing that we did. We thought that up.
That's pretty dope.
I don't know if they planned it already, but that's something we thought of. They planned it ahead of us. They didn't let us know. Yes.
So your CBD product is available now?
Yes.
And what about the THC, the product?
Available in areas where
it's
it
legal.
is.
So do you have licensed partners in Massachusetts, and would you look for that?
Yes, we're going to, yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, right now we have our
CBD snuff.
That's brilliant.
That's a really, or like, what's that?
That's what I chew.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah,
That's
like chewing
so
tobacco,
smart.
right?
Exactly.
That's a really good idea.
It would be so good.
So you are looking for brand partners
Not brands. I don't want.
not brand partners, but
partners that want Mike's branding and Mike's power behind their brand, because some of their brands just need some help, and we can help with that.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's again, if we can empower more people, it's just. I see us rolling up a lot of companies. That's kind of how I see our growth happening over the next 2 years on the manufacturing side.
Do you
That's
ever
our
have
ultimate
plans
goal.
to go public?
It's funny you say that. A portion of our company may. Only on the NASDAQ, though. We wouldn't do it another way.
Only on the net. You wouldn't go on the
No,
CSE.
but we already have an opportunity.
That's incredible, man.
That's incredible. That is awesome.
Get Mike to ring the bell that day.
Well, you push the button at the NASDAQ, right?
But he can still fakely ring something. We'll get
Yeah,
him.
yeah. When you go to it, it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
not. I've done it. I've been there a bunch of times, and
Me
it is
too.
a really unique experience. Or go on the New York Stock Exchange,
go
and then you
ring-
get to
yeah,
ring the bell.
yeah, that's what we'll go.
And we'll get you from there and put you right on CNBC.
Yeah.
All right, I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate it. So, hey guys, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
A special thanks to Iron Mike Tyson for spending time with me. I really appreciate the generosity he showed. Mike can be found on Instagram at Mike Tyson, and most importantly, you can learn all about Tyson Ranch at exactly that, TysonRanch.com. As always, if you want to chat with us, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter with the handle at KCSA_cannabis, or you can drop us an email at greenrush@kcsa.com. And please don't forget to subscribe to The Green Rush in your favorite podcatcher. That was One Take Shay. One take.
Cannabis.